Above the law, a trauma-informed, appreciative approach to examining mayoral control of New York City public schools. I will now begin the conclusion of Resonant Transformation Cycle 1 initiating by executing Stage 2 of the appreciative process, discovery. Here, I will discuss the resonant stories that signify organizational life and purpose and that trigger nostalgia based on the phenomena under study. Despite my trauma, I still firmly believe in the New York City Department of Education, New York City Public Schools' credibility as one of the best school districts in the country. Why, you ask? New York City Public Schools has numerous experts who teach you how to align policies, procedures, and research-based practices. Consequently, stakeholders are expected to ensure the alignment of research and policy in their learning environments. Two key themes, which proponents of mayoral control often refer to as efficient systems and evidence-based practices that promote student achievement, evoke a sense of trust and confidence in the system and is why I will always believe in it as one of the greatest. Efficient systems. My trauma narrative summarized the abusive actions of the supervisory regime, the humans responsible for the fraud, corruption, cover-up, and retaliation that occurred during and after my hiring process. Now, I will describe how the department's central-based labor tracking systems, which are thoroughly aligned to labor policies, are designed to identify corruption and bring joy to my heart. If you've already watched all 6 occupational ambiguity blame game videos, you witnessed my counteraction to the supervisory regime's gaslighting with a plethora of documentation derived directly from DOE systems. My favorite video of the series is video number 4 because I presented how, to cover up their wrongdoing, the supervisory regime gave me access to the evidence that I would need to prove their criminality. The adrenaline rush I experienced each time I found a new piece of evidence still makes me giddy to this day, primarily because the evidence came from various DOE and city systems, thus strengthening the supervisory regime's inability to clean up the evidence. New York City public schools are very transparent with their policies. For example, the regulations detailing the guidelines for the C30 process, the hiring policy for assistant principals managed by Jill Goldberg, were posted online until she removed them in 2018, and I watched that happen in real time. As evidence to why the CSA would want to cover up the wrongdoing of Jill Goldberg directly from the CSA website, here is evidence of the connection between Jill Goldberg and the CSA, the Administrators Union. And then there's the staffing systems. You see, the DOE help desk provided 4 pieces of evidence. 3 that proved that I was not an active employee in the system, and 1 that provided the date my email became active, which led me to Applicant Gateway, which showed that I was nominated and cleared for the vendor position while gainfully employed as an assistant principal. What happened to dual employment? And then there was Payroll Portal. The Payroll Portal provided evidence that I was not in the system during the dates the supervisory regime claimed I was an official employee. I was placed on payroll as a vendor with an assistant principal's salary. There were 6 blank checks in the system, 6 blank checks dated from the 90s, and evidence that a 3rd check was cashed, a check that I never received. Despite the fact that the check says canceled at the top, evidence from the very same payroll system shows that that check was indeed not canceled but cashed. The New York City Office of Payroll Administration Systems also provided evidence of a third cash check, but I only received in cash two. Interestingly enough, the third missing in cash check was the first check under my name with the dates 5/16/18 to 5/10/18, a check that even Jill Goldberg didn't know existed. Jill Goldberg and the Office of Supervisory Support sent a nomination email for a job I started a week prior. An email that also stated that I could not be placed on staff or payroll until I completed an I-9 form, which I was directed to complete 10 days after what Jill Goldberg described as my first day of work. Sue Epstein and the Office of Contracts sent an email about a nomination for a vendor position that I never applied for, and the applicant gateway background check is aligned with this nomination email. And then you have the non-automatic emails. In January and February of 2023, Sue Epstein also sent several emails and mailed a letter asking me to update my information in the vendor portal. Still, I have yet to apply to be a vendor with the department. As evidence of the supervisory regime never letting me forget about my trauma while creating this project, I received another email from Sue Epstein asking me to verify my information in the vendor system that I never applied to work in on July 11th of 2024. And then there's my favorite piece of evidence. The automatic email sent from the Office of Personnel Investigations, Human Resources, 65 Court Street, an email stating that my background check was complete 10 days after Jill Goldberg claimed I began working as an official employee. The email said I should wait for next steps in the hiring process, but the following steps have yet to occur. And then there's the Office of Labor Relations. The Office of Labor Relations sent a document in conjunction with my union representative asking me not to sue anyone within the system. Then wrote a grievance decision that, like the investigation of Dale Kelly of the CSA, found no wrongdoing on behalf of the DOE. But I found it. Using the skills I learned from DOE officials and experts who, like my undergraduate and graduate professors, always stress the importance of an alignment between policy and practice. Thank you for the valuable instruction. Thank you. Up next, we will continue with Cycle 1, Stage 2 of the Appreciative Informed Resonant Transformation by continuing to disclose the best of my experiences under Mayoral Control. See you there.